Hey! Here we are for the finale. Yeah, the finale of our 5-part series of Osteology 101. Again, here's my friend Jude. You know me. You know Jude by now. So this is just like the wrap-up.
Yeah.
Sad.
After this, you're an expert.
Right?
Just kidding.
Armchair.
Across thousands.
Oh gosh.
Sorry. Oh, I heard it.
No, it's okay.
Anyways,
Anyways,
enjoy.
Yes. We hope you enjoyed this 5-part series of Osteology 101. A big shout out again. Thank you to Leiden University for letting us film at the lab. If you want to see more of Jude and I, write down in the comments below what you want to see us like banter about, hang out with. We have lots of fun plans to do things because we're both finishing our masters and we have nothing else to do with our lives. So give us stuff to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Give us some,
Yeah. And with that, part 5. Ah,
Nice.
yeah.
Our last thing that we'll talk about
Yeah.
is traumas.
Trauma.
And
Not
so-
like your childhood trauma where you have to like talk about it on a couch, right? Like actual like physical
No
trauma.
psychological trauma.
No
just
psychological gets
physical
marked
trauma.
on your bones.
So we have a few examples here. And so gunshots. That's a very, very easy example. You can assume your bone does not bounce off.
You're not bulletproof.
Yeah, you are not
You are
bulletproof.
not bulletproof.
This is what happens to you. There you go. So these are casts of actual gunshot wounds.
Wow.
And so you can assume these are skull. These are from the skull.
Okay.
And so obviously bigger ones, usually musket balls, these are from older casts. But you would see it in the skull, it going through, most of the time you'll see it going through one end and out the other. And so there's
Okay.
really not much more to say about this other than it's
That's a bullet.
pretty obvious. Yeah. And it wouldn't shatter the rest of your skull
Not
because it's so
blunt.
fast, right?
That was true. So it just kind of
Yeah.
and then gets your brain, kills you that way, exits.
Yeah.
All right. Gunshot.
Dealing with death here. It's a dark, dark subject.
Yes.
But on the other hand, with other traumas, maybe
This
that
guy?
won't kill you. Yeah, this is a nice example. So
this is another cast.
another cast.
Okay.
And this is all, so traumas from blunt force, so being hit over the head.
With like a baseball bat.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
get that. You could have that.
I watch a lot of CSI.
Yeah.
I used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Now you know. You're smart.
If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah, you know.
All
so,
right.
yeah, so you have examples here, obviously.
This is
Person
quite like
really beat up.
very beat up. This poor
Yeah.
person. Let me just bring you up to speed here.
Sometimes if you, obviously you can also shatter your skull in many ways, but if you've been hit over the head or if you've gotten into an accident of some sort, then you can get markings of blunt force and sharp force trauma. And so obviously it just depends on what you're being beaten with, and you have a different resulting marker on your skull. So these are blunt force, and yeah, if you got hit over the head with a bat, I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
but we'll be able to see it.
Ouch. Well,
Maybe.
That's really interesting.
Depends.
All right. So
And
there's
that's also kind of evidence of healing as well.
Yeah. So
but
like
it won't necessarily like flop back into place.
no, but it's very forensic-y, you know. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
can do
You can see a lot of
see, and you can like kind of really figure out like how they got.
yeah. You can
Injured.
determine the types of material
Yeah.
that could have been used and that kind of stuff.
That's super cool.
Yeah. We'll wrap it up with this is kind of this isn't really trauma. It's just interesting.
So it's not trauma, but it's something that
It's a modification. It's binding, head binding. And
Head
so probably have heard of head binding happening in the past and
or
in
like
specific
foot
cultures.
binding.
Foot binding,
China.
which you can also see.
It's like our plastic surgery today,
Yeah.
right? Like it's the ideals of beauty,
Of course, yeah.
which is super cool to see like how it changes over time. It just must have hurt, but you know,
That's the
pretty
thing.
hurts, as Beyonce once said.
The thing is, yeah.
Yeah.
There are some things that just so visibly change
Mm-hmm.
the morphology of your skeleton that is just really interesting to look at.
Yeah.
But head binding, for example, so something like this. And so you can see it in a number of ways. Obviously, those sutures that we talked about a couple videos ago, they're going to be a little modified. And also you want to be, they would bind the heads when they're still forming, and so when you're younger.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a number of ways you could do it, either with ties, so tying around, or you could do with planks. And then that usually ends up with the longer skull if you put them on the side.
Is it like the Mayan
Yeah.
longer skulls? Okay.
So that's binding, but also planks. It depends. It depends what culture it is. It depends what time period and all that kind of stuff. And so, but you can also see it here. This does not look as normal.
Oh,
That's okay.
I'm losing.
It's just hanging there.
It's just hanging out.
And
Okay, so this is, yeah, because this is a little bit more rounded, a little more, oh, okay, yes. So
And
this is a
so-
little more elongated, that's
Hmm.
a little pushed in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's interesting that you can see this kind of stuff too. It's a little more
Yeah.
obvious, but it changes your skull formation, and it's not necessarily it's not a disease in any way, but
No.
it is something very
It's
visible.
a modification that is very interesting to. You can tell a lot from the skull.
Exactly.
Very cool.
All right. You are now an osteology expert.
Wow, that went by really quickly. Yes. Thank you so much, Jude, for imparting all of your osteology knowledge onto us and bettering the world for it. It was very impressive and very informative, and I learned a lot, and I had so much fun playing with the bones. So I'm gonna miss my little skeleton friends.
But a big thanks to Leiden in particular. We wouldn't have been able to do this without them,
Yeah.
and without their resources and the knowledge that they imparted on me. So,
All right. Thanks to Leiden for teaching Jude about all these things, so then she could teach us about all of these things,
Yes.
and keep fighting the good fight with archaeology.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more about the archaeology programs at Leiden University, go ahead, click the link in my description below. They're some of the best in the world, and they're really, really awesome. And that was not sponsored. I'm just saying. But definitely check them out. As always, follow Jude on Instagram. She's super great. Jude's Archives. Go do it. Do it now. Follow me on Instagram. This is not the end of Jude, just so everyone knows. Jude is going to be on many more videos. We had a lot of fun ideas about things to do this summer.
And some of them involve wine.
So a lot of them involve wine. So it's going to be us drinking a lot of wine on video. Who doesn't want to see that?
Possibly homemade.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with all of our fun adventures that we're going to have this summer with filming. And of course, as always, stay dirty, my friends.